Welcome, Sagittarius. This is the Childlike Empress.
And I'm the Oran.
And
And together we are
the Southern Oracles. Wonder Twins unite. Okay. The way that this works, we're doing a series, and we're going to continue to do series because it makes it to me a lot better. So in honor of Gemini season, we're going to explore both your highest carnation,
Octave,
your high, your high twin, right? High right here, and then maybe your lowest vibration, right, which is your bad twin. You know, the naughty twin, the one that you give into when you know that you shouldn't. So we thought it would be an interesting reading because it could help you to be able to know some bad habits that you might have, or some tendencies that you might have that you want to work on, and also some things that are really great about you that you want to encourage and you want to work towards. Okay?
if you hear any background, we're shooting outside today, so if you hear any background noise, just forgive it.
Yeah. You'll hear the train, which is the best noise in the world. For those of you who struggle to sleep, if you put on either the train noises, just like the train just going and going, that's a great one. And also the sound of rain is really good if you just want to go straight to bed. And without any extra dreams or nightmares, really good to put on the sound of rain. I found it works for me. So, all right. So Sagittarius, yours was a pretty.
Also, I just wanted to say that if you hear something negative about yourself, don't get triggered. Or get triggered. Yeah, get triggered. And so that you know what's painful to you,
Right.
and that way you can heal it. You can't heal something that you don't know is there, a wound
Right.
that you don't know is
Don't
there.
get defensive.
Don't
is
get
what
to-
she's
right.
saying. If you get triggered, meaning it hits you some kind of way and you feel, upset, that's being triggered. Okay, and so we're saying is get triggered, just don't get defensive. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Then it's not
For
your
you.
reading. That's right. But it is for someone, and that's what we're trying to make ourselves a clear channel, be able to deliver messages that are helpful to someone. So let
Right.
us
This
give
is
that
not
message.
side bashing or
No.
anything of that nature.
We don't engage in that shit at all. So, all right. So Sagittarius, one of the things that we notice on your light side, just to start, we've got.
Well, this is dark side.
Oh, that's right. The
Or your
dark
shadow
Your
side. I
shadow
don't like
side.
to say. Or
Yeah.
your low octave. Your lowest
Yeah.
octave.
So your lowest incarnation right here, your lowest vibration. It starts with the Three of Swords, so that's pretty bad. In the sense that it can be a negative card. Usually has to do with pain, heartache, strife, envy, some of the lower
So you can see that.
energies, right, when it comes to behavior. Okay, and a lot of this I think is behaviors that you put on. So first we're going to start with the qualities we see, then we'll maybe start with the motivation as to why those qualities come about, and then we'll talk about some advice that you can work on so that you can actually control
Use it
those.
to-
yeah. So here with your qualities, we've got the Three of Swords, the Strength card, and the Page of Cups. Okay.
It's really, the lighting is really bad, you guys,
Yeah.
but those are the cards.
So with the Strength card and the Three of Swords and the Page of Cups, it almost like ego is center. Cornerstone is pain, strife, envy, those kind of lower behaviors. But the heart of it is strength, which in this case is ego. I see basically
See
that
is
you get your ego stroked by having
either multiple people.
multiple people around you. If you see these people are lower than this person, praising them, I don't know, kind of like almost like caught up in a group dynamic,
Worshiping
this person. So a
Yeah.
lot of in your lower incarnation, you prefer people, lots of people, kind of give you a adoration and stroke your
Yeah.
ego and tell you how great you are as this person drinks from the emotions that they're giving him. Do you see? As he holds the cup, and that's the Page of Cups. It's not the Three of Cups, excuse me. So that's just like, even though there's three people in there and there's three swords, so this has to do with getting your affections and your ego stroke from multiple people.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be that you surround yourself with maybe yes people, people who tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
These
You
are-
don't want to. You want to be the boss at work and not the subordinate. That
Right.
kind of thing.
Right. You have to be the leader in some way, and people have to look up to you in some way with the Strength card here and the Page of Swords. I mean, the Page of Cups, excuse me.
Now
You
this
have-
could, with the Three of Swords, you could either be the one who's hurting or the one who's causing them.
Right. But I think the cornerstone of it basically for you guys is fear. And the fear is the cornerstone for everyone, really. Let's be real. Nobody's gonna lash out at other people if they're not in a state of
Hurt,
Of
okay.
hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, in your pain, if you feel like somebody has hurt you or has more power over you with the Strength card here, one of the things that you like to do is you like to engage in escapism. That escapism with the Page of Cups could be through sex, or it could be through like
drinking,
drugs, right. It can also be with
something.
engaging. I find, especially with the people here, because there's 3 people for some reason, I find that you do that maybe in forming these loose relationships with people, these light flings, or I don't know, dalliances with people, because it makes you feel better about whatever it is that you're hurting from. Okay, it's a form of escapism. Regardless, that's the reason why these behaviors come about, because you're trying to escape from this pain.
And again, I want to say with the 3 of Swords that it can also, because they're swords and swords are in the mind, this could just be a perceived hurt. It doesn't have to be an actual hurt.
Yeah, but it sets your heart aflame. And if you notice, the sun is here too, which is also that Leo, the fire.
Yeah.
And then here's the sun. This has a lot to do with your ego.
Right.
So, and we talk about
also
the
with
sun and the
anger,
moon. Yeah.
anger issues, maybe,
So
because
maybe,
I see that with the Knight of Swords.
Yes, this rashness. This could be, it's very much ego driven, and also your temper with the Strength card, and then the sun here with the 3 of Swords. So I think that maybe in fits of temper, right?
Yeah, fits of rage.
Fits of rage, or when you feel, like I say temper because it could just be sadness to you, just like in these little temperamental fits that you have, what you end up doing is seeking out escapist behaviors in order to deal with it. This is your way of being strong. This is how you cope. That's what I say. Those are your coping mechanisms in some way, shape, or form.
So down your heart space here.
Well, there's a few other qualities that have come across. One of them being with the 3 of Swords here, the Queen of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles. That you might behave detached, but you're actually very possessive of the people that you care about, especially with the 4 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, where she's somebody who could be perceived as loyal. In this particular case, because this is your shadow side, it's coming across as somebody who is possessive, who wants... You have the Queen of Swords right next to the Queen of Pentacles in your heart space, and so it came across to us, especially with the 2 of Pentacles, as your outcome and advice. Just your energy, your general energy. Yeah. You have 2 sides, right?
Definitely with these 2 women.
Right.
And one is very...
Sorry, go ahead.
One is very loyal and relationship-esque.
Yes.
You see this?
Yeah, she's very relationship-oriented.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And one is very cold and detached.
Right.
Now, we're not mentioning signs here because this is not about signs.
No.
This is not about anybody else. This is all Sag all the time.
If you see stuff on my fingers, it's literally chocolate. I apologize. It's hot and it melted, and so I was eating it. I'll probably go wash my hands before we go to the next video.
So we're not going to bother with signs here because this is all about you.
Yeah, so their signs really don't matter. This is about different facets of your personality. So
right.
Go ahead.
A part of your personality is someone who is caring and nurturing and want to be in a relationship, but the other one wants to be detached and sort of do what they want to do.
I don't see the Queen of Pentacles here as being so caring, especially because it's your shadow side, and the reason the foot space is the 4 of Pentacles. So in this case, as she's holding on to that pentacle,
but I'm just saying
focused,
that there is 2 sides.
Right. She could be, I see this as somebody who can be a bit selfish, especially with the Page of Cups here, worried about only their feelings, because she's in the center. With the 4 of Pentacles here also. You want to be people to give to you, right? Because this could be a selfishness, the Page of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles. But see, they've given you their treasure, but you may not be willing, with this 3 of Swords being the cornerstone, of giving back to them, because the 4 of Pentacles is somebody who hoards their treasure. So people may be giving you things, right? Love, affection, attention. This is when you're in your lowest incarnation. Please understand that. Because you may have been hurt, or you're afraid to be the true incarnation of this queen, which is giving and nurturing. I think that you take a selfish stance. You let people give to you. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. But for me, it's more like you want this person to be, you want a person. It's not the person.
Right.
It's not it's just a person.
Right.
To give while you remain detached.
Right.
To be loyal while you do whatever you want.
And we say that just looking, Page of Cups, Queen of Swords, which is somebody who's detached. The Page of Cups is somebody who's kind of free. I mean, just giving their emotions, their declarations of feelings and emotions and things like that.
And of course
and then the 7 of Swords, which is very intentional. That has to do with strategy. It doesn't always have to do with sneaking. For us, it's strategy, because the Queen of Swords is in the middle of it. So she has to do with logical thinking.
It could be sneaking as well.
Tactical,
because it is 3 people in this card.
Right. So maybe you keep people in a place where they're loyal to you, But you keep your options
It's
open.
open, yeah.
That's what we're saying. And that's you in your lowest incarnation. But the reason why you do it, because this is that center row, is for your ego. You need, in some way, to have multiple control. And there's a power thing here. But I think the adoration you get from people telling you how great you are, how fun you are, because this is a fun light card, how funny you are, whatever, makes you feel strong. It makes you feel powerful. And so you do seek that out, even though I think deep down with this at your feet, you truly do actually want something stable. But there's a selfishness about it when you're in your lower incarnation.
Yeah, because if you look at the card, it's just not usually how they depict the 4. I don't know. You can't really see it.
Right.
But he's kind of, let's see if we can get it. Yeah. So you see the way he's hovering over his treasure,
and we also
in a very possessive way.
And we also have a squirrel who is getting a nut. And I'm not trying to be, this has nothing to do with sex. Literally.
But it could be, because it is under the.
It is okay.
It is under this card.
So it could be a squirrel getting a nut. You're gonna get. That's why I said the Queen of Pentacles comes off as selfish here in this incarnation. She really feels like somebody's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And then the squirrel also is known to be a hoarder, and that's going along with this 4 of Pentacles. So you get all the good stuff when you're in your lowest vibration, right? You try to get all the good stuff, but you don't want to give any back. You maintain this Queen of Swords position because it's the heart of the matter. When it's time to give back, right? That's why you're struggling with this in your lowest incarnation. You want to be somebody who's maybe giving, but what's happening is this becomes this Queen of Swords and this Queen of Pentacles. To me, always together comes off as being selfish. That's what it is.
So what we're saying is you're possessive and selfish in your lowest form.
Right.
And also, I wanted to say this because I've seen a lot of swords here, especially with this Knight of Swords.
Yeah.
Can you see this? You
right.
can't? Okay. And the Queen of Swords. I think you have, even this Ten of Swords, you have a tendency to maybe even cut somebody down with your words.
Yes. Yes.
In order to make yourself feel better.
Yes, because remember, ego is at the top of this. So you've got ego, you've got this person who keeps themselves distant and use their sword to cut people. And what ends up happening, to cut them down. And again, the cornerstone of it being fear, that this person has power over you. What you'll do is if you feel like somebody controls you or has power over you, maybe you feel like you love them too much or you're too attached to them, right? What you might do is cut them down. Literally, you will use that mouth, and it's what you're saying, I think, especially because communication, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Ten of Swords, and the Seven of Swords, strategy, and then betrayal. I think it's what you're saying, or maybe it even is what you're doing, but you're doing.
Well, you could be doing it. Sorry, to show them that you don't value them.
Right, that you don't need them. You have all you need.
And what I wanted to say with this card, the Two of Pentacles. You see how he's juggling those pentacles and he's on a log.
Right.
I think in your lowest incarnation, this might be even somewhat of a game to you.
Right.
Or even something that you know about yourself, and it's like a switch that you can do on and off.
Yep, you can switch that. You can flip that switch.
Yeah, on and off at will.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, so that's just qualities. These are things that you may be struggling with, especially because if you're seeking this out, more than likely you're on a spiritual journey. So this is probably not where you are, but where you may have been, where you were, and not something that you
because we definitely see the Death card here, which is in this deck, transformation.
Yes, so you're walking away from behaviors where, because even with the Knight of Swords, him being rash, I think when she's saying flip a switch, that's where the Knight of Swords comes in, because he's rash, and it's that temper underneath the Three of Swords.
Well, this also could be, see that fire brewing?
Yes, so I think what ends up happening is it comes on quick, right?
And it
leaves just as quickly. So you may get angry and say things that make this person feel like, shit. Like then, under your shoe. That really
and then come back and like you leave and come back
right.
and you're like, oh, what's wrong?
Right.
You're Mr. Jovial again. Or
right.
Mr.
The fire's
Mr.
out.
Jovial.
The fire's out. Now we're all waves and water.
Right.
You understand? Now it's all water energy. And that is why Temperance is your card. That is why Temperance is your card. Because that passion has to be tempered by feelings and empathy for others when you are getting, that's your card to strive to. That's where you're supposed to head to, so that you can have that empathy to temper that passion and that fire when you cut somebody with your truth.
To the quick.
Right.
They say cut somebody to the quick.
Right. Because you use the truth, but in this way, she's using it to hurt. But I think when you use that truth and that passion and that fire, they're saying to you to temper it with empathy, right, for others and how they feel. Don't become selfish or cold, right?
Right.
So that's where you were, or that's where you're trying to walk away from if you're with us. Because when we say, you know, you've made it past the first gate, that means you've made it past those things. You're fighting those things and you actively want to work on them. Now you're headed into a different side. And I do want to say, it came to me really clearly when I looked at this side. So your cornerstone, you've got the strength card again.
Yes.
So,
but this strength is mostly your negative and your positive.
Right.
So this is the attribute that you have
right.
no matter what.
So in this one, I want to say it's confidence. I want to say it's stability is the code word, but I feel like it's confident. If you see what he's doing, he's freeing the fish. He's brave enough and strong enough and powerful enough to free these fish from this net that they're being caught in. And so I just almost got the feeling like he was confident, not just confident like ego driven, confident in his rightness. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That he was righteous. That's what confidence and rightness is righteousness. You've got stability, you've got love with the Ace of Cups, and you've got practicality with the King of Wands. Yes. I think when it comes together, I want to say, I'm going back to the dark side. I'm not plucking out any more qualities. For your advice, we didn't do your advice, okay? With the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles, they want you to stop, first of all, overanalyzing, because Ten of Swords is swords, so it's still mental energy. I think that when you overanalyze, you create these scenarios in your head that make you feel like you have to be either, go ahead, on the defensive.
But these two cards made me think overreact versus overanalyze.
Yes.
Because even though they're swords cards, I don't know, it screams to me overreacting.
It can, but I think overanalyzing everything. I think you're also, this is another thing, you might be afraid people are gonna either betray you or take you for granted.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I got with the Ten of Swords and the Four of Pentacles too, because this person has to guard their treasure because they feel like people are always trying to betray them or take it from them. So this is emotional, obviously. This is all in your head. It's not real. It means this is all the ways that you feel and perceive. And so maybe you feel like people are always trying to take from you and leave you, betrayed and take your treasure. And so in order to guard yourself, again, back to that Three of Swords fear energy, you have to be the one who's ahead of the game.
Right. Instead of you feeling like this. But remember, this is a Three of Swords, and what you're doing
is a Ten of Swords. Right. So they might come at you. You might feel a sense that this person could really hurt you. They could hurt you. So you're like, well, I'm going to make sure that I really hurt them.
Yeah, I'm going to cut them down before they
even try, right, before they even get a chance to cut me down. So I think that those are the things that you're struggling with. But the advice here, I think, with the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Swords is the heart of the matter. So obviously they want you to end that behavior. And I don't think it's because some of the spreads we're doing, it's like, temperate. Yes. But I don't think that this is good in a sense like...
No, because you have the Death. So we're going to say this behavior should end.
Right. You've got the Death and the Ten of Swords. This whole strategic, how do I cut somebody down to shit if I'm not feeling good about myself, energy, they want it gone. That's the advice we're getting from the universe, especially down here.
Also, I'm going to say with the Queen of Pentacles and this Four, also even with the Page, it's like you have to learn to cultivate your own self-worth.
Yes. That's what it is. So and that ties in. That's what we had to get to this point. It ties in perfectly in what your incarnation is in your light side, which is so beautiful. You have to cultivate and keep hold of your own self-worth. It cannot come from outside of you, because if it does, it leaves you with a feeling of insecurity, and you're always on your guard. With the Seven of Swords and the Four of Pentacles.
You're always looking to see who you can hurt and who's going to hurt you.
That's right. That's what the point is. I think it's just saying is that we had to go back to it because now it's segueing perfectly into what you can do in your highest incarnation. Now here with stability, love, and practicality. To sum up the dark side, it's basically like you could be somebody's worst enemy. Literally, you could be their partner and be their worst enemy if you are in your worst, like your lower vibration. But here in your highest vibration, it's like you could be their best friend.
Their Sandlot.
Their ride or die. Like you have stability, love, practicality as your headspace, qualities that you have, right?
But do you see how in this strength, it's not about control?
Right.
The strength is literally, look at him.
He's it's heroic. Righteousness.
He's heroic.
He's a hero. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. He is an absolute hero. This person in your highest incarnation, you are their knight in shining armor. You are their ride or die, their best friend, the person that they can depend on. Just you are I don't know. I just love the energy on the highest incarnation. It's actually probably one of my favorites that we've done. It just is like you just are there. There's nobody. Your loyalty is without question. Your love for them is without question. You know, and not for them, for people in general, for humanity. In your highest incarnation, you are a hero. That's what it is. That song, "I Need a Hero." That's the kind of person that you are. In the heart of the matter, we've got basically the heart space, which is kind of like what motivates you in your highest incarnation: reward, conflict, and drama. So this is where I say my knight, right?
Right. This to me this is telling me that you are not afraid of a fight.
That's right. You're not, and you will win. You are tireless in your this righteousness, like this sureness.
Especially if you're motivated.
Yes.
If you're like you said.
If you see the rightness of it, yes. Yeah. This righteousness, you are tireless, and you won't be defeated. You will not fail. With the reward, conflict, and drama, you're not afraid of a fight, but you know that you're going to win. You're going to persist until you win. You'll find a way to make it work. You'll find a way to make it victory. Victory is right here.
Yeah.
Yep, you'll find a way to make it victorious. So, I mean, who wouldn't want somebody like that on their side? Now, with your feet space and what they are saying, so you can cultivate it. Vision, victory, motivation. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think that they're basically saying, if you are working on being in this higher vibration of somebody who's trying to be that hero, because that's what Sagittarius is coming across to me in their highest, calling. Keep fighting for it. Keep on, see yourself the way that you need to see yourself with the Two of Wands here as vision, right? So I think it's more so this one, the manifestation of this is you going to have, tell yourself, like this guy, this King of Wands, he's confident. Tell yourself every day, I'm good, I'm fierce, I'm fun, you know what I mean? I'm a best friend. Stay positive. That positivity, that positive, what is the word? There's affirmations. Mm-hmm. The positive affirmations are what's helping. See, because with the vision and the motivation, positive affirmations are things that you can do to help yourself create and move forward towards this heroic nature that you have inside of you. And with victory, it's like, just be sure. It's that confidence that you're gonna.
And he also, the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth.
Yes.
So I feel like you are righteous because you do have the truth on your side.
Yes. It's like and being honest with yourself. So if you are moving away from this energy, maybe you were like this in the past and there were people that were hurt because of it. I think that the victory for you is that once you see the true nature of yourself, it's not something that you don't run from it with the Knight of Swords. You try to see the true way that you are, right? Or you were, and how you work on it and start formulating a positive person that you want to be like. That's what I see with vision, conflict, practicality. It's almost like if you start to say, I want to be like this person. This is what I can do to be my King of Wands, the very highest I can be. Right. These are the things that I'm going to have to work on, with conflict being in the heart of the matter, to be the very best person that I can be.
And I can see here with the Four of Swords, the reward card to me. Oh, this lighting is so bad.
Yeah, sorry. It's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late. What was I going to say? The reward of being a good person, or I don't want to say a good person. It's not good versus bad.
Your best self.
Your best self. Yeah. Is that you will be rewarded internally,
yes, and
as well as externally.
Yeah,
I think it comes with its own reward.
Yes, because this is here. It's almost like the motivation is this confidence. You don't need anybody else to tell you how amazing you are. You just know. You see that light and that beacon coming off of his wand. That's that enlightenment. He knows that he's right. He knows that he's good. He knows that he's deserving. He knows that he's worthy, and nobody can tell him different. That's what I think they're saying. That if you cultivate and start to tell yourself that you're good and behave in a way that goes, you make plans, because you are planning, vision, conflict, and practicality, you're making plans to start moving towards being that person, or maybe even looking towards mentors, because I kind of see that too.
That you can be a mentor.
That you can, people who you would like to be like, people you look up to, people you aspire to be like, then you're going to be your best self. That's what they're asking you to continue to do, because the best self that you are, to be a hero, is an amazing thing. So I hope this helped. I think that's pretty much all that we got from it, but I loved your light and your dark. I'm not going to lie and say that this didn't, you could tell from the tone, right? I got really excited about it. So you could be somebody's best friend or somebody's worst enemy.
Yeah. No in-betweens.
No in-betweens, and I think the advice is just what we need to finish on. With the
or you can be both.
Yeah.
You don't always have to give selflessly.
Yeah.
You just know when to use. You just know when to use what gift that you have.
Right, but you see, he's standing on something that's pretty unstable. With the transformation card, perhaps they want you, because stability, practicality came up in your cornerstone as to what to cultivate. Perhaps what they're asking you to do, because I still get temperamental nature in your dark side.
Because this is not to get rid of one and to go for the other.
Right.
It's to blend.
Right. I think,
And so
I don't know.
that's-
I think yours is the first reading where I heard them say, stop that shit, okay?
Well, stop hurting people
Stop
for the sake
right,
of hurting people.
for hurting
but
people.
But the idea of you taking control, wanting to be on top, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes,
but
because
not
look what
wanting to cut somebody down.
Right, in order to do it. You don't have to stand on somebody else to become a hero.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying. So in here, it's like, yeah, you get your hero, you get that sense of ego, but it comes from other people either stepping on them or using them, or not even that. Just you need them in order to have it. Here, it's just like you don't have to do all of that.
It's an inner confidence.
Yes, and so the transformation here is, and to get rid of this that you're standing on. I think that they're asking you to transform into where you're standing on your own 2 feet.
Because look, if she did mention where she's standing.
Shut up.
It's not exact.
Lady Arwen, come here.
My dog is going crazy, of
Okay.
course. As usual. See that? He's not sure-footed.
Yeah.
And that's because he's standing on something.
Right.
Something that, instead of his own 2 feet.
Right. There's an insecurity there. So in order for you to get to the highest incarnation that you can be, you need to be sure-footed, and it means standing on solid ground. And
It
that
is.
comes from within.
Yeah.
That comes from you
That's
being yourself. Can you see from here? Is that better lighting? No.
Yeah, it is good.
It is? Okay. Yeah, it's that King of Wands, the enlightenment and the power that he radiates is from his own seat. It's from the seat of his own throne. Okay, so that's where the admiration and the leadership qualities come from. For you, it's building up your own inner strength, your own inner power. So that's pretty much all that we have for you. And
So if it resonated for you, please like
share,
and subscribe.
of course.
And we'll see you next time
Yeah, we'll be here next month with a new series,
for
Cancer
Cancer.
season. We'll have a new series.
and that'll be about home life,
Yes.
family, pets.
Yeah,
That
because
sort of
nobody
thing.
does readings about fur babies. You know, we both have dogs. You could tell from all the barking during the videos. And so it would be nice if people did some type of, we'll have part of it for people who have fur babies. We want to include something like that as part of the series. Okay, until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.